It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. Thanks so much for being here. Now, I want to call out Republicans that have been going after Mamdani for apparently going to a conference at a very, very fancy resort. Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of criticism of him doing this. Now, I think this criticism should stop because the point they're trying to make is somehow he's being a hypocrite because he is going to experience the luxury and the riches that the common man cannot have.
Right.
And so this is evidence that he is not ideologically a communist. Well, I'm sorry to say the Republicans are wrong. Go back and look at the history of the Soviet Union. The Politburo went on vacation all the time to incredibly great guarded resorts in Crimea on the Black Sea.
Thanks in part to the oligarchs.
Right. Well, the oligarchs didn't exist yet. Oligarchs didn't exist in the Soviet Union at that point.
That's true.
This was the fact that the people in charge got all the riches and the workers got food lines, a bottle of vodka, and bad public transportation.
Well, we can say with Mamdani, it is happening as a result of the oligarchs because there was big money from the left that went into his campaign.
Oh, yeah.
So, Bernie, we have an oligarch alert for you.
Well, no, he might be. I was talking about the Soviet Union.
Yeah, I know.
And then China. Mm-hmm. China still has a resort it's the bay off the Yellow Sea that they've been going to. The Politburo of China's been going there. They've been going there since the 1950s.
Yeah.
And it's a guarded, exotic resort where nobody can see what's going on.
Right.
Where those in charge of the government have special privileges and luxuries that the peons don't. Mm-hmm. So let's not understand, look, Republicans, if you're going to criticize communism, understand it. The leaders, it's just like Islamic radicalism. They'll find young suckers to die, but the leadership doesn't want to die. Well, and as we talked about, whether it was the 9/11, the 9/11 terrorists, or
Mohammed Atta and the rest of the 19 hijackers
right.
that were going to strip clubs in the days before 9/11,
or Osama bin Laden with porn all over the place.
Right.
As I said, these Islamic radical leaders that want to clamp down on everything in everybody's lives have more vices than I've ever dreamed of. Yes. Western vices that I've ever dreamed of.
Yeah, right.
And so understand the fact that it's about power and control. It isn't about, the hypocrisy. He's fitting in exactly. And the other thing is, too, he's getting criticized because he was saying, you've got the Democratic Socialists saying, we want this, and we want an in his administration. And you see the transition team is all mainstream Democrats.
Well, and think about this, too. It's because, he also dined with AOC. AOC and Bernie on the oligarch tour. Well, first of all, Bernie with multiple homes, fancy cars, and nobody cares about your multiple homes and fancy cars. And then AOC and Bernie on the No Oligarchs tour, taking the private jet to the No Oligarchs rallies. This is who they are. We've been pointing this out for a long time.
Yeah.
The top and powerful are rich. You get a free bus ride. Well, oh, by the way, you won't get the free bus ride for a long time. It's only going to last for a minute. When they run out of money, it's over. My city is the city I live in is going to vote in May to possibly pull out of public transportation.
Yeah, that's happening.
There's actually several. The Irving as well, right here, right outside our back door. They're looking at possibly pulling out because they're giving half of their tax money to public transportation and saying, yeah, we don't know that it's paying off. You know, does it give us a return?
No.
Is it worth it? How about keeping that money and investing it here in the town as a city, as you know, the people in charge? We can invest it here. If it's not widely, if it hasn't changed, the town that I live in has been part of the local public transportation, the Dallas area rapid transit system, since 1983. And it's like, all right. And you move in and DART rail and everything else, it becomes so expensive. But this is the thing. Mamdani in New York City promising the free bus rides, you know, in New York City, public transportation is a thing because it's so expensive to park anywhere and so expensive to own a car.
Well, it's like, let's make it where you can't drive a car and your only choice is public transportation, and people will happily take public transportation.
Yes.
Because they can't use their
Yes,
cars.
make it expensive under my plan of cap and trade, electricity rates, driving a car in New York City. This is okay. I don't know if Mamdani actually said this during his campaign. Under my plan for New York City, rates for owning a car would necessarily skyrocket. But that's the whole idea, is you price everybody else out. You give them, we'll give you a free ticket on the bus. And then, of course, they're going to wine and dine. They're going to be the rich and powerful. This is his rise, not yours. Quit making it about you.
Well, and when you look at the history of Marxism,
yeah,
it's completely failed. What I've always found interesting, because it's so easy to look at it, communism, Marxism, it all based on the worker. We're about the worker.
Yeah,
and where the worker is most treated like crap, where the masses are treated like crap, are in the political systems that claim that they care about the worker.
Yeah.
And where the middle class has grown over the last, 100 years to expectations that nobody ever thought possible, happened in systems that have been criticized as a class system of the rich and the poor, where the middle class has done better than any other economic system where the government is involved in central planning. If you look at and somebody's going to bring, Gary, what about China? Yeah, China is growing, and China's middle class is growing because they're gonna butt heads one of these days, because they're trying to have communism and capitalism at the same time.
Right.
China allows limited property rights.
Right.
They allow you to own property. They allow you to gain wealth. That's why you have those billionaires now in China.
Mm-hmm.
In a system like the Soviet Union, or even China before they opened up, if you're talking about pure communism, sorry. And Mamdani, we have the audio. We'll play it here and again, because when we call him a communist, we want to provide evidence, and we did it yesterday.
Well, like all the others,
Mamdani
promotes that he, is about the worker. You bring up that, and I saw that in so many art. It would seem to be the common thread over the last couple of weeks, but certainly in the liberal activist media's celebration of his win. By the way, they're pretending. It seems like they believe he just won King of the World or something. I mean, it's, and it's over for the GOP. It might be over for the GOP, but it's not because Mamdani won New York City.
Well,
but to finish my point is that he's promising you more things and says it's all about the worker, the average person, while he wants to go punish your employer. What do you think's going to happen when he starts punishing your employer? Gets the state involved. Oh man, Hochul watch is on. That was a common thread yesterday, too. It's like, all right, is he going to be able to? Again, we asked that question because he knows these people in Albany.
No,
he knows this.
I just like what you said, the Hochul Watch.
Yeah,
we're going to hold on to that one. It's the Red Eye Radio Hochul Watch report.
How soon does she cave? Because he's going to work with state lawmakers. He knows them. He's going to be up there in Albany. Or calling Albany from his penthouse suite. But but the whole thing is that, again, look at the basics of it. Look, you voted the way you voted in New York City if you voted for him. But again, 75% of voters under 30 voted for him.
Ignorance is bliss.
Oh, man, it's great. It's awesome. You're going to get a free bus ride.
You know, it was before the election, you had, this debate, because remember, George Will came out and said, well, no, you got to do it every once in a while. People have to get the taste of socialism.
Yep.
I'll say what my dad has always said. People love to be BS'd.
Yep.
You saw it. If you really saw it, you saw it during the Obama administration when, again, it was hope and change. Like, but what do you stand for? What do you stand for? What do you stand for? And everything that we see today, all the crap, the radical transgender movement, identity politics, cop hating, all came from the Obama administration. He really mainstreamed all of those.
Yeah.
Defund the police.
Oh,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah,
all that
yeah.
came from the Obama administration.
Yep.
Going after law enforcement, wanting to coddle criminals. The genesis of that in modern American politics was Barack Obama.
And think about this. In the last couple of years, it's gotten so bad that Michael Rappaport has abandoned being a liberal in New York City. And why is that? Because he saw it. Remember, the first things that he started posting, where he started making that evolution, grappling, evolving, whatever you want to call it, he was posting all the crime in New York City, the stories on the crime in New York City, going through the roof, yet they brought a guy in who's a cop hater. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Defund the police. You don't need to defund the police if there are no police. I wonder how many. I had a family member that served NYPD for a number of years and then moved on to the FBI. His goal, he always wanted to work for the NYPD. Not from New York. Moved there just for that. And I haven't heard from him, but I'd love to ask him, because he still has friends at NYPD. What's the sentiment? What is the, we know leadership and we know the union, the police unions and police associations. We know their position on this. But the rank and file officers that you, of course, need to populate all of those precincts around New York to keep people safe. Well, Mamdani didn't start, the whole defund the police thing.
No.
But he's going to accelerate that and was elected after all of that failed drastically and crime is through the roof in New York City. He still won. That right there should tell you where the liberal left is and should demonstrate what we've been saying, that Democrats are still going to win races.
It was interesting because I saw that they was it the CEO of, is it Planeteer?
Yeah.
That I think it was him. I've got the audio cut. So my memory serves it when I got it yesterday. That was him. I was reading the transcript of it and I have the audio. And he was saying
Palantir. Yeah.
Palantir. What'd I say?
Planeteer. Which might be a cool company.
Well,
Space travel.
I said it off the top of my head, and it's after midnight.
Yeah, why not?
Give me an excuse here.
Yeah.
But he was saying the problem is all these young people in New York City, these are people with all degrees that can't get a job.
Right.
Or they know their jobs is going away because of AI.
Right.
It's all white-collar workers, young people that had, all these degrees, and now they can't do anything with them.
Right.
And things are just so incredibly expensive there that they're just looking for anything. And is New York City an anomaly? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
New York City's in Texas. And as we said, when you I'm telling you, you had liberals yesterday on X coming out and saying, what idiots they are on Texas. It's already in the Constitution that citizens can't vote. And this guy was blasted going,
Yeah, that non-citizens can't vote.
Yeah, the non-citizens. What did I say,
Right.
citizens?
Yeah.
That's the country. Well,
That's
I'm sorry.
California.
That was the Mamdani.
That's Mamdani.
Okay,
That's New
I'm
York
sorry.
City and California.
Boy, I'm telling you, it's
Yeah,
a
sorry.
Friday. Maybe I just need to go home because I'm screwing it up completely.
I did that the other day with a friend, and I was like, wait a minute, I got that backwards. I've been reading too much for work. It's like, no, you're thinking citizens can't vote. You're thinking New York City and California.
Yeah. and so it was like, and it's like, you're an idiot. This is about the state.
Yeah.
He just didn't respond
Right.
to any of them because he got, hundreds
Right.
just got blasted. But that was really the good thing. When you look at the Wall Street Journal hit it today, and I'm so glad they did because we did the first thing we did. Now we live in Texas, but we said there's good news. When you take the party out, when you take the parties out of it, when you take the tribalism out of it, when you take the personalities out of it, and you simply ask people about the issues, a state that was viewed by many just a couple of years ago where, Butthead O'Rourke could be the next governor, could be the next senator. Texas is going blue. And then you see when it comes to tax cuts, when you look at not having future taxes on capital gains and stock trades, things like that, that the Democrats scream about, those passed in the constitutional referendum by the people, landslide numbers.
Yeah.
And Wall Street Journal talks about it, goes, well, Democrats say one thing, but they're voting another way in Texas.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. There's so much going on. In fact, I don't know what to say. I got frustrated with social media yesterday and even the media in general because every 2 minutes I couldn't figure where they were going with the shutdown. It was just like,
no, it's all over the place. It's like, we got a deal, we're going to do it, and then it was like Democrats hit the brakes on the whole thing. They're clearly trying to leverage this. Democrats think they've got more leverage than the GOP, clearly, but we'll talk more coming up.
We are Red Eye Radio.
Brought to you by Hot Shot Secret.
Hi, I'm Jen Loomis, a transport safety expert at J.J. Keller. Once a roadside inspection is completed, the officer will close it out. If violations were discovered, most officers, as a courtesy, will explain the violations to the driver. If there were any out-of-service violations, the officer will normally explain what must be done to get the out-of-service order lifted. Drivers need to be very attentive during this part of the inspection. The driver also needs to read and understand the complete inspection report. The driver has 24 hours to get the roadside inspection report to the motor carrier. If the driver will not be returning to a company facility within the next 24 hours, the driver needs to know to get it on the way to you via email, mail, or fax within 24 hours. This tip was brought to you by J.J. Keller & Associates. Visit us at jjkeller.com.
Lines open for your calls. 866-90-RED-EYE on Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. I will be looking forward to watching the one repeat Christmas episode of Seinfeld when Elaine dates the communist.
I forgot that was a Christmas episode.
Yeah, it's a Christmas episode, and you can remember because Kramer dresses up as Santa Claus.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And then he wants
and then
to Mickey, the ultimate capitalist.
Yeah,
he didn't want to hear. He didn't want to hear any of that commie pinko crap. But the whole thing of what is communism is coming up.
Yeah.
This is our evidence. Just one part of our evidence. It's a good audio cut.
All right.
That the evidence that Mamdani is a communist.
Right.
Here we go.
If there was any system that could guarantee each person housing, whether you call it the abolition of private property or you call it, just a statewide housing guarantee, it is preferable to what is going on right now.
There you
The
go.
abolition of private property.
There you go.
Abolish property rights.
We're out of here.
Yep.
As George Costanza said, leaving a high note.
Catch Red Eye Radio live every night on the Red Eye Radio app, available in the App Store. Red Eye Radio.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Download our Red Eye Radio app today, and you can listen when and where you choose. Just interesting because I found it was actress Ellen Barkin. Does she do anything anymore?
I don't know how active she's been, actually.
Whenever I've seen her talk politics, I enjoy it so much because she is the ultimate raving lunatic.
Yeah.
You can tell her face contorts.
Yeah.
But she writes, for F's sake, except she put
used the word.
The word. Yeah. Will you please learn the difference between socialism and communism? Look up or shut up. No. And you're saying, well, Gary, you're reading into that. Yeah, but I know that's how she meant it. It wasn't for F's sake. Will you please learn the difference between socialism and communism? Look up or shut up.
Yeah.
It wasn't said that way. It was, for F's sake, will you please learn the difference between socialism and communism? Look up or shut up. Well, the Canadian professor who leads conservative, Gad Saad, wrote back to her, Dear Ellen Barkin, if you support these ideologies, would you mind sharing your entire wealth with me?
Right.
Everyone who was tried to make that case can't because of what Mamdani has said. We just played it right there. When you talk about the abolition of private property, that's communism.
That's communism because what does that mean?
Right.
That means the property goes to who? Who owns the property at that point?
All the people. The people own the property.
Property.
That just popped into my head.
And you know what? Yeah,
because
it becomes the People's Republic of
right.
whatever, New York.
Well, no, but that's the entire thing.
Yes, that's why they say that.
Whenever socialism, communism, Marxism prefaces something with we're the system of the worker.
Yeah.
Oh my God, run for the hills.
Yes.
And when they say the people's and then have republic, you can be guaranteed it's not about the people, and it's the hell not a republic.
It's nowhere close. It's the opposite of a republic.
Oh, my gosh. This is too easy. I mean, we're dealing across the board. We're really dealing with we're dealing with children. I don't know at times because people tell us all the time, you guys really, really make the points well. You're really knowledgeable. And I think to myself, I'm like, no, that's not it. I won't speak for you, but I don't think,
I already know that's not it.
I don't think I have any incredible intelligence. I've just been alive so damn long where I've been able to separate the truth from the Mustang pile.
Yes.
I've been able to separate that, and
I'd go Appaloosa, but that's fine.
And and I've been able to clearly understand how, like any of us could, because this isn't trying to figure out. My father did it for us at the dinner table and explained the difference between communism and the Constitution of the United States and the separation of powers. I don't even know if I was in junior high yet.
Right.
I might have been in fifth or sixth grade when he explained that all to me and did it in a very simple way.
Yeah.
And
I think that's about where I was because I remember we lived on an Air Force base during the bicentennial. So on an Air Force base, it was everywhere. I mean, it was the entire year. But that was also right after I was, so that I would have been 10. But that was, I know for a fact I'd already learned that through my dad, because I was wondering why, he had to go overseas. I'm doing the quotations, Mark, when I was younger, when I was just, 4 years old. And he was talking, and that's kind of where he was explaining things to me. Well, this is how other countries work. This is how our country works, and why it's important. Why it's important to distinguish our country and our system of government and society as opposed to the rest of the world. And this is something, the Ellen Barkins of the world want to. This is why they don't want you to believe it's communism when there's no other way to describe it based on everything he's espoused, Mamdani has espoused, but most importantly, his own words saying things like the abolition of property rights. Think about that.
Private property.
Yeah, which is property rights.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't just include your home. Then you wouldn't be able to own, if you're going to abolish property rights, you wouldn't be able to own anything of any substantial value.
You couldn't own a business.
You couldn't own a car.
Yeah.
Now, young people, a number of young people, nothing applies to all, might be okay. Well, I'm not going to own a car anyway. It's fine. I'm going to take the bus.
Well, I understand, because why do we get cars? Because we believed in freedom.
We believed in freedom. I want to be able to move about freely and listen, crank up some Tool on my way to work.
They want to be. They want to sit there and say, wait a minute, what's the latest AI music?
Right.
Where there's no human involved, and I'm going to sit and watch my 65-inch screen TV all day, and I really don't want to go to work.
Right.
But the to finish a point that I was trying to make, I thank those people who say, you guys really do your homework, and we do I'll say we do our homework, but there is no great intellect on this show. There's probably more common sense, and the fact that we've gone through. I remember, what was the movie that somebody said, "Is there a God?" And they said, well, maybe God has just been around for so long. That what makes God so smart is he's seen everything for billions of years and just absorb it and say, well, no, this is the way things have to. Well, I forgot where I'm probably off on the paraphrase there, but it was something like that. But if we, like I said, I thank people who say that, but in my mind, it's like, well, no. Yeah, we sound incredibly smart and dominant on the issues because
There's a lot of editing, by the way.
Well, no, because we're dealing with the completely ignorant. We're dealing with, we're dealing with first and second graders.
It's karate.
This is karate. Yes,
we're going to have some more Seinfeld references on the way.
We're Kramer.
Yeah. No, it's
and Kramer was not. Remember, Kramer was not an expert at karate yet.
Right.
He was in level 1, which is why he was fighting 9-year-olds.
He was just really tall. Of course.
And so that's what it is. That's what it is. We're not intelligent. We are. There's some intelligence here, but we're just practicing karate every day, like Kramer did, and we're fighting 9-year-olds.
Right. Exactly.
And that's the truth.
Right. It's
you guys, that's a nice analogy. Well, okay, technically it's not karate, but
right. Well, I'll say this. The other day, number 8, my youngest grandchild, walked up to me and said, "Look at how much money I have." And I said, "That's nothing." I beat him fair and square in the wealth category. It was easy.
I've got $20. That's nothing.
That's nothing.
You save $20.
Actually,
you want to see my bank account?
Actually, he doesn't spend his money, so he might have more money in his account. But this is from going through it, living through it. You've lived through I don't know how many ages of
poverty,
communism, socialism.
Oh yeah,
and the cycle.
Well, I. Been through the majority of the Cold War. I was alive.
Yeah.
And the majority of the Cold War. Oh, what did I remember the other day? Somebody brought up something. Oh, yeah, there was a tornado in my town. It was on Facebook.
Oh.
And it happened in 1961. And I went, oh my gosh, I remember that. I remember. So at 6 years old, I was down at one of the neighbors' houses, and we were talking about the tornado. And I went, oh, okay, that's one of my first memories. That's
the
just
town
happened-
you lived in when you were 6.
One of my first memories, basically a cognitive memory of being young. I don't have much memory of being 3 or 4 or 5.
You know what?
And-
I do.
do you really?
It's,
Yeah,
it's
I don't.
weird, but I was born on an Air Force base in Omaha, Offutt Air Force Base, and we got a lot of snow. And I remember a number of things. I remember my room. I remember a number of things about that house, and I was 4 when we moved from there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
that would have been the only other memory. The first memory I do have, and I mentioned this the other day, would have been September 26th, 1960. Now, I was still, my birthday hadn't come yet. I was still 4 years old, and that was the Nixon-Kennedy debate.
Oh, yeah.
And I faintly remember that. That's really my first memory of anything. I remember there's one memory of me tying my shoes the first time, but I can't put a date to it. I don't know.
I remember,
but
go ahead.
And that's where my mother, and I don't remember saying this, I remember watching it, in the room, just a quick memory of the TV and my parents there in the debate. And then my mother told me for years, she said, yeah, we asked you who you thought won, and you said, oh, that guy right there, and it was Nixon. And and my mother always teased me until the day she was gone from this earth, and she teased me, and she's probably doing it right now up there in heaven. Yeah. Saying, and you ended up analyzing politics. You were wrong from day one.
I remember the day my dad found out that they were going to have a girl, my baby sister, and he got the phone call, and it may have been the day she was born. I seem to remember he was home with us because there was 4 boys, but after 4 boys, he had a little girl, and he went to the front door and shouted out the front door, "It's a girl, it's a girl." And most of my life, I went around thinking he just shouted it out to the world. Then I remembered on base, we lived in a cul-de-sac, and it was all of the houses were right there, and he was just shouting it to the neighbors who were in the little common area between the houses.
It was like a Hallmark Christmas movie neighborhood where the houses are
yes,
next to
and
each
we
other.
were very wealthy with lots of perfect sweaters and decoration, and it was it was a village. There were people caroling, drinking hot chocolate. In all the Hallmark movies, they're always drinking hot chocolate.
Very quickly, I thought about this yesterday. Forgot to tell you, just reminded me. You said the village. Should we refer to New York City now as the village?
Oh, yeah. Most
Remember,
definitely.
we made the analogy.
Yeah.
You're the one that came up with
No,
it.
listen, I'm going to tell you right now.
The analogy of communism and the village, the movie.
Well, and Trump, the color red.
Yes.
The monster, which was really not a monster.
Yeah, but the red now is also commie red.
Right, it is now.
Yeah.
So it changes. But the red, of course, the MAGA hat. The name of which we do not speak.
Those who do not speak.
You can't have the color red anywhere. And a monster that didn't exist. We think it was about Trump and communism. They built a wall that, you can read into that many different ways.
But that's why I think we should change it from the MAGA to
communism.
To communism and call New York City the village.
Well, look.
Because the red represented what? The make-believe monsters,
That's
which communism is talking about all the time.
It's the brilliance of M. Night Shyamalan. You can read so much into his movies, except for Lady in the Water. Nobody knows what the hell that was. But his movies, like Signs, that's a great alien movie. It's not an alien movie.
No.
It's about faith.
It's a faith movie.
Yeah. But if that's what you want to read into it, I guess. But I think that's it's got depth. And I got to go back and watch it.
And I did before. And I
The Village?
Another documentary around it. M. Night Shyamalan said, the house, there's red, white, and blue. And it was about, he wanted the symbolism of America in there.
Wow.
That part I didn't know.
Wow. Interesting.
A lot of the other stuff I had figured out, and my father did when I watched it with him.
Yeah.
866-90 Red Eye.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. And there it is, music and multimedia mogul, 50 Cent.
Yeah. 50.
50. See, they should write it. They say 50. And
Right.
they should put it phonetically, should they not?
Yeah.
50 Cent.
F-I-T-T-Y. Right. Yeah.
Now, this is a little bit bizarre world.
Mm.
50 Cent blasts Mamdani's plan to tax the rich and defund the police. Rest in peace, New York City.
There you go.
He came out again. He came out against the newly elected New York City mayor and the socialist plans to tax the rich. By the way, he is the rich now. To fund his vast government-backed priorities.
Right.
And to fund the city's police force.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Look, again, there were polls that showed going into the election the people that planned on voting for him didn't fully believe in what he was going to do. That's bizarre.
Top of the Hour News is brought to you by House Products. Visit houseproducts.com.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One. Now, it's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. I'm Gary McNamara. He's Eric Harley.
Hi.
All right, before we get to the shutdown and all that other stuff, more Mamdani probably.
Probably.
Other news, I want to make sure we get in. Ford is considering scrapping the electric version of its 150 pickup truck, once billed as the future of American trucks. Now, just so you know, I'm not going to go into the details, but we were right.
We don't need details. Just say that.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
But once billed as the future of American trucks, after racking up billions in losses and watching demand collapse, executives are in active talks about axing the money losing 150 Lightning altogether, sources told the Wall Street Journal, in what could become the first major casualty of America's faltering electric vehicle revolution. The Lightning launched with fanfare in 2021 and hailed by CEO Jim Farley as you said earlier to me off the air, I think, a smartphone that can tow was supposed to mark a new era for Ford. President Joe Biden even took one out for a spin, calling it quick as hell. But the hype faded fast. Mainstream truck buyers balked at the steep price tag and worried about the truck's limited range, especially when towing or driving in cold weather.
Yeah.
In October, Ford sold just 1,500 Lightnings nationwide, the fewest of any F-Series models. The company has lost around $13 billion on electric vehicles since 2023. The demand is just not there. I remember when we were talking about it, we said, did anybody stand up in the meeting with because we are always fascinated that anything that you see out there, most likely has been workshopped.
Well, development, especially in the OEM development, it's workshopped to death,
And it's workshopped also the futurists, the people that look and the marketing people and whatever. Maybe not the marketing people, but the research and development and the sales together, looking at the science and can we sell this thing? The business model.
Well, that is the first step in development.
Right.
Yeah.
And you and I looked at it and said, it's not a market. And then when they started saying, yes, but you know something, if the power goes out in your house, you can hook the truck up and you can run your house off it.
Well, I have a generator.
I've got I can't have a generator at my place, and the natural gas is not reliable when we have cold because of all the crap from a couple of years ago. So I actually got a different lithium-ion batteries that I can run everything except the furnace and air conditioner.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I can survive, without that. And I got a backup generator for, those batteries. Since number one, houses are too close to each other to have it, and but that cost a lot less than $60,000, $70,000, $80,000.
Oh, I think it went beyond that.
It was a couple thousand. It was a couple $1,000s for me to do everything
Yeah.
wanted to do just to be prepared. So, but you knew we said if you're using that as a selling point, you're not selling the vehicle.
Well, the OEMs, there's a couple of things. The pickup market is also tied to construction, and they were, you can work out of your truck, and it's like, well, if you're on a construction site, you've got power. You have if you're on a construction site, and you need to charge your tools or whatever out of your truck. There's something wrong at the construction site. You've got bigger problems. And this is the flaw. It's did you bring any construction people in to that first R&D meeting? Did you go to any construction sites?
Consumer research.
Well,
yes,
that's
exactly.
This is and that's it. So because I don't think at the Wall Street Journal they talked about the first major casualty in the EV thing. Well, this is different than the other EV makers that may be affected by the change in mandates or anything like this. This was flat out, is it the product that will deliver as promised? And they, the thing was too, they talk about the Wall Street Journal, that what they didn't talk about, I should say, is the fact that there were so many bad reviews of people that bought them and said, I retired. There was one guy, I think he lived in Canada.
Yeah, can't tow anything.
I retired. I took a huge chunk of my retirement money and paid for the truck so that we could take our little RV camper and be retired, And they weren't going to live on the road, but they were going to go and see the sights that retired people do with RV campers. You can't get that far with it. That's the problem. If you can't tow because outside of construction, the pickup market is being able to tow, being able to haul something behind it. And that's you've got to have the power to do that if that's a big part of it. We invested in a camper trailer, and I had a different kind of pickup. It didn't get the job done. I needed a 5.3 liter at least. And I went out and bought one. And because I said, if I've already invested in that and we know we're going to spend the time doing that, I need the power to do that. Well, Ford missed the mark. Ford, by the way, on the F-150 has been crushing it for years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They dominate. And this was one of those things that's based, you know what this was? The new Coke of pickups. That's exactly what this was.
It was renovating Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, exactly.
Evolving Cracker Barrel.
The new age of Cracker Barrel of pickups.
Right.
This is, what the hell? Because, look, it's pie in the sky stuff. It's unicorn stuff. You could have a big, powerful pickup that would tow everything and not lose its charge quickly. Well, you can't deliver on that. And selling a generator, well, who cares if you can't drive the generator? That's what it comes down to. The demand for it is based on the functionality. For pickups more than any other personal vehicle. Maybe SUVs. SUVs, of course, were, taking the kids everywhere and the family and all that. But in terms of a utility vehicle, a real utility vehicle, the pickup is it. This is why on the Cybertruck, I saw one the other day and the guy had the cover over his bed. That is a pickup technically. But it doesn't, it's like the old Chevy Avalanche. Well, you can fit a couple of things from Home Depot, but you don't have a big bed. Mine's only a 5.3-inch bed. It's a short bed, my truck. But I didn't buy it for that. You see a lot of the, development of pickups. There are new pickups that are coming out, EV pickups that are going to be cheap, but they're tiny. They're small. And, again, if you want a small truck, it's not going to be one that you're going to use in construction or anything like that. But if, you have another use for it, then great. If that's what fits But the F-150 is a problem because of, I think, its predecessor. I think that its, parent truck, the gas-powered, or in some cases, like my dad's, diesel-powered Ford pickup is what set the tone, especially diesel. You compare that, I mean, diesel can haul, and the Lightning just didn't. It couldn't do the job, and if you're going to make a vehicle that is designed for utility, whether professional or in your personal life, then it's got to deliver on that utility, that purpose, and it didn't. And that's what you're looking at. I think it's different than the rest of the EV market in that way. It's just the same day that Tesla approved, 75% of the shareholders approved a $1 trillion pay package for, it's in stock, for Elon Musk. Well, there's some marks he has to hit on that, like getting the company to like over $8 trillion in their market cap. They're currently at $1.5 trillion. Maybe that will happen. I don't have confidence it will, but I think this more importantly is something you and I said back in the split with Trump when Elon Musk and Trump broke up, and then people were burning Teslas, during that whole time when he was with Trump and all that. The shareholders and the board had to be greatly concerned. And they want him focused on Tesla, which clearly he is now. I don't know if you noticed, but he was on Joe Rogan the other day wearing a Tesla T-shirt. That wasn't just something he grabbed out of the closet. It was for a reason. Because the board and through the shareholders that basically told him, and I think this pay package is it, oh, yeah, we'll get you $1 trillion in stock. You've got to get our market cap on the company to over $8 trillion from where it is now at $1.5 trillion. Again, right, I'm not saying that's not going to happen.
But this isn't about electric vehicles for Tesla. It's about robotics.
It's everything that they're into. It's the AI, robotics, and everything else.
But as he even said, this is about developing.
He believes the future
robotics.
is that.
Right.
But the point is that they're going to be a solid company overall. The parent company is going to be a solid company, and their cars are selling. Their vehicles are selling compared to the other EVs.
Right.
So you promise something. If you promise, but by the way, Tesla's also guilty of promising something on, things, future technology with their vehicles and haven't delivered. And a lot of Tesla owners or maybe prospective owners will tell you that come on, you got to deliver because they want it now. It's that immediate gratification. If you say the new version is going to cook you dinner on the way to work, you don't have to drive and it's going to cook you dinner, then it better be on the market at the dealership tomorrow. You can't pre-promise. But on Ford, I think there is it's interesting that those two stories hit in the same day because Tesla, the future of Tesla, and I think, by the way, Elon Musk has known this for a while. The Tesla has to be about more than, and it's also, the Tesla homes and everything else. They're building out something that's a wide range of products and everything and technology. And whether it works or not, is, yet to be seen ultimately. But you've got to build something. And if they can get to $8.5 trillion or whatever it is, that target, it's over $8 trillion on the market cap through AI and robotics. I'm not sure about the robotics. I think the market is showing this. If you're watching the Dow over the past couple of days, the whole AI overvaluation of the AI companies right now is a major concern. Major concern. You and I talked about it off the air the other day, but there could be an AI bubble going on right now because you can't, on your CapEx, your capital expenditure, you can't show a return on investment yet. It's too early. But
right.
You've got this big pie in the sky, offering. And again, we can relate this to the Ford Lightning thing. If you're going to promise things out, especially to investors, investing is confidence in the future of that company. That's what it's all about. But the market pulls back greatly when they don't believe that you're on point now. If they believe you've totally overvalued and overpromised on your company, then you're going to see people exit. And that's what you're seeing right now. How far it goes, I can't tell you. If I could, then I'd be a trillionaire.
Well, but you make a great point because you and I talked about it, I think, off the air, didn't we? About AI.
Yeah,
It was off the air, and it was.
Yeah.
And we talked about is it a bubble? It may be a different kind of bubble than the .com.
It will deliver
because it will deliver. But when you invest stock at a particular point and capital, there's an expectation also on the return on investment over a period of time.
Exactly like I said with the technology. If if you say the cars of the future are going to cook you dinner, well then people expect to have one tomorrow. But if the robots will cook you dinner, that I'm sure they will. But that's it. If you are promising, whether it's NVIDIA or it's the Grok AI through X that of course Elon Musk is a big part of, which is, by the way, mind-boggling when you look at it. It's unbelievable how fast this is developing. And Elon posts on this on the regular about how fast it's developing. There is no doubt at some point there will be a return on that CapEx. It's going to happen. But the market is looking at it going, yeah, but we want that return now. Well, you don't get it that way. It doesn't happen that way. I will say this. It will happen, as you point out, much different than the .com bubble because of the acceleration, what we just mentioned, the acceleration of AI and how fast it's developing. I'm confident that ROI will be there sooner than it was with the .com thing.
Right. But when you invest, especially in something like AI, you don't know.
Right.
But there's still an expectation when you and any investor has that's why even if you're going to a bank for a CD,
yeah,
it's going to pay me over 4 months this amount. Okay, I'm going to go for this. Well, what's it over a year? Well, no, I'm going to take the chance that I'm going to go, instead of doing it every 6 months, every 3 months.
Yeah.
Even the Treasury bill is the same thing.
Right.
Return on investment is in every investor's mind. There's a specific time that they're hoping to get it in.
Yes, right. And of course, that confidence in the company. Are you over-promising right now? And the whole bubble of today, by the way, does apply to the market. You know, they've been spoiled on getting those returns from companies in big ways, and that's yet to be seen.
We are Red Eye Radio.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
How would one define a successful dairy farm? University of Minnesota's Jim Salfer acknowledges
it probably changes, and it probably is really variable from farm to farm. A lot of that really should be based on the farmer's goals.
Whether it's family, financial, or business-oriented. Yet regardless of goals, Salfer notes some common characteristics among successful dairy growers.
You can almost kind of lump them into two broad categories, kind of big picture items, business items, and then there's obviously you need to have a lot of good, successful production skills.
And he says it starts with producers having what he calls an attitude of gratitude.
They're so gracious. If I come out, they'll be thankful. They'll thank the agribusiness people that are out there as we meet, and they just go out of their way. And they're also very thankful for the customers that they have.
Passion for work, planning and organization, and skilled at caring for their cows are other traits of successful dairy growers recognized by Salfer. I'm Ron Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90 Red Eye.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Coming up, finding the bottom of the hour. Well, apparently the Republicans have discovered affordability.
Hey, it's the word of the week.
It's the word of the week.
Well, with the GOP. Yeah,
it's like
it's like, affordability.
We've got to focus on affordability. I saw Scott Jennings. We've got to focus on affordability.
Yeah.
It's like the GOP.
No, it's the word of the week. It's the talking point. By the way, it's the only one. Seems to be. But you know what? They got the message. Like I said the other night, they clearly got the message. What they do about it, I still don't have any confidence in, but they did get the message. Now, you can't just say it. You have to do something. I don't know what that is, but you have to do something. I think a lot is hinging on the pending decision by SCOTUS on tariffs. And I don't know where it goes if they say Trump can't do that, and I don't know where it goes if they say he can.
Remember, there's three different issues. I mean, they might agree with the fentanyl, but the 10% general they might not agree with.
Right. It could be a very narrow ruling. Right. Yeah, so we'll see.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. All right, the Republicans have discovered affordability. The president yesterday took questions on a number of things. Also, in September, he did this interview with the radio station and had to say this about prices, because prices is that was a huge issue yesterday about prices. Here's what the president said in September.
We have no inflation. Prices are down on just about everything. Prices are way down on energy, but prices are down for people.
Okay, that was in September. Yesterday, he was saying the same thing about how Thanksgiving is going to be better. He said the gas is around $2 a gallon, which it is not. The average gas price in the last week was $3 a gallon. And then I want to play what he said. Let me see. There's so much audio there, Eric. It's just like, because when I heard this, I just went.
You know what he's quoting on the $2 a gallon? The refined blend, the core blend. That's not the retail. Right now, the core blend, the RBOB, is at $1.97. But you got to add all the other costs, including taxes, to that core price. So I don't know that that's what he's using, but that's the only thing you can find in terms of a gallon of gas at the RBOB blend, but nobody buys that. That's not the retail price.
Oh, okay. Because everybody's, where's he coming up with these numbers from when he says and it doesn't matter. All that matters is the final price that the consumer pays. But also, he was talking about the Supreme Court and tariffs and one of the reasons why it has to go. He believes it has to go his way. Here we go. Okay.
Issues are ruling. It could be several weeks. Are you going to lay out any new additional tariffs before?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to hope that we win. I can't imagine that anybody would do that kind of devastation to our country. You know, we'd have to pay back trillions of dollars. We've taken in trillions. We haven't taken in billions. We've taken in trillions of dollars. We've made trade deals based on that give us, as an example, European Union, $950 billion. Japan, $650 billion. South Korea, $350 billion.
Now, we haven't taken those in tariffs. I think he's talking about the investment. But there's no guarantee on an investment. You can simply say, well, we're going to invest that, and you never invest it.
Right.
Because the governments don't invest, companies do.
Right.
The European Union isn't going to vote to send the United States $950 billion so they can invest in individual companies will do that. So there's no guarantee. So that wasn't about tariffs. On prices, on the fact that the president continues to say, number one, because did you see the influencers picked up on that? And they were like, see, the president said it again today. The foreign governments, they're the ones that are paying the tariffs, and we can't pay those foreign governments back. Right. And it's just, we said this during the Biden administration, and I'm not going to use anymore. I realize that the outlaw Josie Wales. analogy doesn't work here.
Right.
Because when you initiate what Dean Wormer said to the, I'm combining two movies. Dean Wormer on Animal House said to the senator about don't pee on my back and tell me it's rain. When the initial activity begins, you don't know that it's not rain.
Right.
But Trump yesterday, in my opinion, is doing the same thing that Biden did. You're trying to sell something that is self-evident to the American public.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and there's the disconnect. And here's why it's important. It's funny because I was thinking the same thing. Here's why it's important. Because there was a disconnect with Joe Biden. Now, Donald Trump's personal life is vastly different than most of ours. Except, what have they always said about him? He is a communicator who has always had more in common with the guys wearing the construction hats on his projects than the guys wearing suits.
Oh, yeah, you could probably go to one of his parties at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Be a blue-collar.
Right.
You could be from a rural area,
right,
a farm, whatever, and you'd probably have a great time there and go, there's not a lot of elitism
Well,
here.
you've seen him,
Yeah.
you know, in
the DJ, when he DJs.
Yeah, in the 24 campaign, when he would go to and talk to people, not when he actually worked at the fast food place, but one time he went to a fast food place and he was talking with the worker, and he was just having a normal conversation, and he relates to people on a very basic level. So don't miss it on this. Again, it's a given that a multi-billionaire is not going to have the same issues and concerns that we do. But for him specifically, he's always been great at knowing what those concerns are and why they're concerns in the first place. And that's what's different here. Joe Biden didn't care. He just flat out didn't care. Well, in this case, I believe the president cares, but he's just not communicating effectively. You're not, because again, I was telling you during the break, like on the tariff thing, even if they had brought in already, just say for the sake of the discussion, let's say they had brought in $2 trillion in revenue. That's unicorn stuff. But I'm making that point, the exaggeration for a reason. But the economy and everything else was still where it is now. You're not connecting because they don't care about the $2 trillion you have in the government coffers. They're not feeling it.
Yeah, they're not feeling. If you're saying, well, these companies are investing here, they're not. The only thing that, and this is what we warned them in January, the administration in January and Republicans. Prices matter, and you cannot tell people that what they are seeing every day is not happening to them.
And a plant that's going to be built or an investment that's going to be made in the future isn't addressing them today. And for most of them, it's not going to have a direct effect, and it won't be measured in their daily life for quite some time, if at all.
And I don't know why the administration and Republicans, after the Biden debacle of ignoring prices,
right,
we shake our heads saying, what kind of bubble are they in?
Remember Biden when he said, I just found out today the price of a pound of hamburger.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Did you just say that out loud?
But to the Republicans did not learn the lesson. They haven't, as of right now, have not learned the lesson that prices matter to people.
Right.
And if you look at both New York, New Jersey, and Virginia, what was the most important issue? The economy, prices. Exact same thing. The number one from exit polling.
Yeah, certainly in New York City.
Yeah. Virginia, too.
Virginia, make all the promises. Yeah, but I mean, in New York City, you know, it's the costs are so great, and like you said earlier, people are drowning, and then they'll just reach out to anybody who's offering something for free.
Exit poll in New York, 55% of New Yorkers said the cost of living was the most important issue. Crime was a distant second.
Wow.
In Virginia, 48% said the economy was the most important issue. And you look at the things that they're promoting, like immigration and stuff, and crime. The public looks at it and says, we agree with you on that. What's next?
Yeah.
You've done the immigration thing. You've done it. We see you're solving it. Okay, what about the economy? What about the immigration? We know. What about this? What about this? Especially when people feel it every day. And the Republicans have been tone deaf. And I saw, Scott Jennings saying Republicans, yeah, but he's not bringing up the administration has to lead this.
Yeah.
And when the president is telling people things, whether it's Biden or whether it's Trump, something that is self-evident, they feel it. And he's telling them, you're actually not feeling it. Inflation is under control. Prices are down. The foreign countries are paying. We all know that's not true. The foreign companies are not paying the tariffs. It's American companies and American consumers. You saw the Solicitor General said that anywhere, what do you say, between 30 and 80%, depending on what it is right now, of the tariffs, the consumer's paying.
Yeah.
But even if American companies are paying it, that means they're not hiring.
Well, we're seeing the job market right now getting soft.
You saw that one. What was the number that came out yesterday? I got to find that again.
Don't have it in front of me. I'll get it here.
And so when you look at just the overall figure of 3%, which is on top of everything we've said, that's in general. When you look at the specifics over the last year, when you look at coffee up 19%, beef and veal. I like that. Beef and veal.
Sounds like a comedy team.
15%.
Yeah.
Frozen juices and drinks, 10%. Bananas, 7%. Frozen fish and seafood, 6.6%. Remember, this is after everything that we have seen from the Biden administration, which was 20% or more.
Mm-hmm.
This is on top of that. Bacon, 6%. Pastries, 5.5%. Apples, 5.3%. Canned fruits and vegetables, 5%. Lettuce, 4%. Lunch meats, 4%. Foods away from home, 6.3%. You notice how many restaurants are going out of business? Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
President talks about energy prices are way lower. They may have come down, but you're still paying in September for natural gas 12% more than you were last year.
Yeah,
Electricity up 5.1% in the last year. Other items, gardening and lawn care services, 14%. Audio equipment, almost 14%. Care of invalids and elderly at home, 12%. Motor vehicle repair, 12%. Delivery services, 8%. Veterinarian services, 8%. Household insurance, 7.5%. College textbooks, 7%. Watches, tools and hardware, over 6%. And it just goes on and on and on. Those are the things that people, when you look at what actually people buy,
yeah,
and what they use, the things that they have to have, those have gone up in the last year. You haven't tamed it, and there's been no concern until now. Till this happened, there was no concern. We were told that the tariffs were great because they were bringing in billions of dollars.
Yep.
And that was the measure of how the economy was doing great, was based on how you were taxing American companies.
Right.
Conservatives aren't stupid. There may be a populist portion of the Republican Party that is ignorant on economics. Conservatives aren't. But everybody, you can't lie to people on prices. Everybody feels it every single day. And you cannot look at what's self-evident that people feel every day. It hits them every single day at the grocery store and wherever they go, and tell them that that's not happening. Biden and Harris lost because of that.
There was a global outplacement firm, Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, that released a report that showed October was the worst in terms of layoffs. It was the worst October in 22 years. Layoff announcements. Companies announcing layoffs. Not all of those companies have followed through with those layoffs. But the reason that's critical is October is a year when a lot of companies, especially in retail, but also in delivering freight and everything else, are hiring seasonally to get ahead of the Christmas rush. And worst October in announcement layoffs in 22 years.
We are Red Eye Radio.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Also, and the New York Post had this. New York Post, it was the lead on online. That op-ed piece, about prices.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was like, whoa.
Yeah, Trump touts affordability while inflation rages across America on everything from food to furniture to cars.
And the first line, this is the New York Post, supporter of Trump, with a social media post that said, "Stop lying about there being an affordability crisis. President Trump claims he's wiped inflation, but consumers are still feeling the squeeze."
Yeah, he posted "Stop lying."
Right.
He was telling people stop lying about affordability.
And Target's prices this year up 5.5%. Walmart's 5.3%. Remember, they said we'll try to limit it, but they're going to raise it, and that's above inflation.
Right. We haven't felt the full effect yet.
Right. Amazon's prices have averaged more than up 12% this year, according to Data Week.
Yep.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.